We're back again. Today I'm going to talk about what it's like to be humans. Humans make errors. We make them every day. That's just part of the process. We got to accept that. What I'm not okay with is repeating the same errors over and over and over. Some people are now catching on to the flashy term self-service, self-service analytics. Folks, we've had self-service for as long as I've been a human being. We've got people in businesses pulling data from everywhere every single day. That data may not be very good, but they're using it anyway. That was self-service. That process, the self-service process, has proven to be flawed and produces 18 versions of the truth. That's not a term that's new today. That's a term that's been out there forever. The thought that suddenly today there's some tool that's going to let you do self-service and it's not going to produce the same results of data cowboys for as long as I've been alive, that's insane. The only way I believe we're going to get to a true self-service that's of any value to anybody that doesn't repeat those same mistakes is by going to governed self-service. One where instead of business walking away from all the proven concepts that have ever been true for IT, and IT throwing up their hands saying, no, I don't want to be involved in this anymore. You'll just get what you've got. The only way to bring those together, I think, is a governed self-service model where the right people do the right things. IT are the right folks to grab data. Always has been, always will be. They've got the tried and true debug practices, testing methods, business users who've got to get an answer to some C-level person by 5 o'clock, throw all of the traditional IT processes out the window, and they slap numbers together. That's called self-service. It's never worked. So here's how Qlik supports what I would believe to be a governed self-service model. At the root of this is the fact that Qlik extracts data out of systems into what we call QVD files. I'm going to walk you through a layering process. Don't get hung up on whether it's 1, 2, 3, or 4. Understand the process. At the root of this would be extracting data raw. Just give it to me the way it is natively. Don't aggregate it. Don't do anything with it. Don't use views. Don't denormalize it. Give me the data. It's all of the views and the SQL code out there that cause problems. It's the left joins that should be inner joins. It's the inner joins that should be left joins. It's the some type of join that should have been a full join. Give me all the raw data. Then allow Qlik to do the denormalization and start flattening these things out. Qlik's data model is a columnar data store. The reason that we have such highly normalized databases, and especially in EHR systems, is because we're trying to flatten things out so that the databases don't have to be redundant. Our data model doesn't worry about redundancy, so let us flatten that stuff out. But by allowing us to do that, we can then, as part of that process, show you where, hey, there were no values here. These things don't line up correctly. There's data that's bad. That can be part of that process, but that can be a separate layer. I might be getting my raw data from a flat file or a source system, or I may be going ahead and just skipping that step. If you've already put it into an EDW, maybe you're skipping steps. That's fine. Don't get hung up on it has to go 1 and 2. The nice thing about this is the fact that we can do incremental loads. There's some very large systems out there. If I've got 63 rows of data in a spreadsheet, I'm not even going to think twice. Just do a full reload. When I've got hundreds of millions or billions of rows out there in some source, that's silly that every time I would do a report or produce a dashboard, I would have to go read all those billions of records over and over. The incremental load means, hey, let me keep what I've got, and then let me go get what's changed since the last time I did a load. The last time I went out and pulled the encounters, now let me go get the new ones only, and then Qlik can take care of merging those things. Those are things you can't do when you're doing SQL-based views or tables. You're going to hit that system and wait and wait and wait, which is why so many people are hitting the wall with other visualization tools that go out and hit all of that data and can't do this stuff incrementally. This dramatically speeds up how fast we can refresh because we can just go get that incremental set of data. Once I've got that, there are always going to be business rules applied. I've got a set of test patients, exclude things with this last name, exclude things for departments such and such. They're only for test transactions. Do this, do that. The Z code here means this, convert it to. Hundreds, thousands, millions maybe of business rules that apply to the business. And again, those are the things that those self-service data cowboys are not going to remember when the time pressure's on. If we can apply those one time and get those in there, we're beginning to build for each of those different sources of data a single source of truth. And that's the answer. The beauty is, and you can see it in my associative data model video, each of these QVDs could be from completely different sources. Maybe it is Excel, maybe it's Hadoop, maybe it's Teradata, maybe it's a cloud source that you've pulled with the REST API, maybe it is an EDW that you're pulling data from data marts. Don't care. Same concept applies. Pull that stuff together and apply business rules, because once it's in Qlik's associative model, I'm good to go. One of the nice things that I like to recommend is you can build an application that ties all of these sources together, whichever sources you've got. Now, once you've got these single sources of the truth, you can have an application that ties them together, and you do not even need a visualization front end on it. I simply call that a data mart. Right? It's got all of my different sources that I need for surgery, or that I need for finance, or that I need for, or that I need for. And I create this big set of data marts that's in some layer. Now it's available to any Qlik application to run with. And so those data marts can be used in many ways. Maybe I'm going to build out an application. I'm going to build a guided analytics application or dashboard or mashups or whatever I'm going to do with that data. And I might need to tie multiple data marts together. Maybe I'm going to have some business analyst who simply has access in some secured, governed way to data sources. I don't want that BA to hit my source system. I don't want to have to worry about the rules. I simply want them to access some data mart or some set of QVDs that allows them to go answer their questions. It's a governed source of truth that they are now free to go do whatever they want to with. Maybe I've got something that's somewhere in between. Maybe I've got a power user or super user or whatever you want to call them. They're not quite business analysts. They don't quite understand where data may even come from. So you could start with an application that's basically loaded the data. It has governed dimensions and metrics in it, but there's really not much of a visualization front end. It's really for them to answer the phone. Oh, hi, Bob. Yeah, let me get you that answer now. Bing, 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 bing. And they just drag or drop and start creating something. So they're kind of somewhere in between. Regardless where in the process of analytics the thing is at, it could be I'm using this governed data now for guided dashboards. Maybe I'm using it for business analysts. Maybe I'm using it for patient satisfaction. The right people have access to the right data at the right time. As I start pulling this together now, I've got this QVD layer that's providing my virtual data store that's a single source of truth. All of these governed, these metrics and definitions can be put into a governed source and then pulled together in the applications. They can subscribe. I need the financial calculations. I need the clinical calculations. I need to understand blah, 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 and whatever metadata about the system we need can be put together. Combined with section access and the role security that I've talked about in another video, we now begin providing applications that are a single source of the truth. They're truly analytical because they're going to allow that end user to answer their next question, not just the last question. And in this way, I believe we're really going in a different direction. The reason that self-service is beginning to get hype is nothing new. It's simply a result of business not wanting to have to rely on IT anymore. The problem is most other products just simply repeat the exact same errors. The process is the same. Let somebody go off willy-nilly and do what they want. We've gotten 18 versions of the truth in the past. We'll continue to produce 18 versions in the future. When we actually want to get to actionable intelligence, we have to have a governed set of data and a governed set of metrics and security that applies to roles, rows, and columns of data so that it's a trusted single source of the truth. Because it is not intelligent to take action on data you don't trust. If we want to get to real actionable intelligence through analytics, it's going to need to be in a governed self-service model.